Tonight, a day to celebrate the red and white.
We didn't think about much, but once in a while, we would comment, I wonder where we are on that wait list.
The maple leaf flying high, a symbol of freedom, peace, and respect. Get out while you can to the Rideau Canal Skateway.
It's beautiful, it's warm. Even though it looks cold, the sun is really warm.
Milder temperatures could mean the days are running out for a skate on the world's largest rink.
It's more than a dream come true.
Canada wins its first gold medal at the Milan Cortina Winter Games as the men's hockey team looks to advance to the quarterfinals. Adventures in sound for the whole family.
I really want my grandchildren to know music and arts in general.
Hundreds come out to explore music and rhythm at the National Arts Centre. Good evening. We begin tonight with breaking news. Lowell Green, the longtime talk show host on News Talk 580 CFRA, has passed away. In a social media post, Green's family said he died suddenly on Saturday at the age of 89. Green retired from News Talk 580 CFRA in 2016, which at the time he had become North America's longest-running open-line talk show host. Born in Ann Arbor, Michigan, Green grew up in Arthur, Ontario, and worked in Brantford, Sudbury, and Montreal. He was also the founder of the Ottawa Sunday Herald, now known as the Ottawa Sun, and was the author of several books. Mayor Mark Sutcliffe called Green a groundbreaking talk show host and a proud Canadian. News Talk 580 CFRA and CTV News will have coverage on the passing of Lowell Green tomorrow. And today marks 61 years since Canada's red and white maple leaf flew on Parliament Hill for the first time. February 15th is Flag Day, and across the capital, Canadians are celebrating the national symbol. CTV's Josh Moreno joins us live with more on this. And Josh, for one Prescott woman, this year carries something extra meaning, right?
Yeah, Kimberly, for most Canadians, Flag Day is about pride in the maple leaf. For Teresa Jansman, it's about patience. She signed up in 2009 to receive a flag flown over the Peace Tower, and last month, after 17 years, it finally arrived.
As a proud Canadian, it is my privilege and honor to provide you with the enclosed Canadian flag.
It's a letter Teresa Jansman has been waiting for nearly 2 decades.
We didn't think about much, but once in a while, we would comment, I wonder where we are on that wait list.
In March 2009, the Prescott native and her 2 children visited Parliament Hill, learning about the history of the Canadian flag that flies on the Peace Tower.
The obvious question was, when you replace it, where do the old ones go? Because they replace it quite often.
She was told the flag is replaced every workday. Knowing this, Jansman signed up to be put on a wait list to receive one of the flags. After 17 years, it finally arrived. All 230 by 460 centimeters of it.
I received this letter, signed and everything. It came with what the date was that this particular flag was flown.
According to the Government of Canada website, the current waiting period for the Canadian flag on the Peace Tower and other Parliament Hill buildings is over 100 years.
We like the maple leaf. It's unique, so it's very strong symbol. We're supporting Canada.
February 15th is Flag Day, marking the anniversary of the first time the red and white maple leaf flag was raised in 1965. In Ottawa, Winterlude included Flag Day celebrations, visitors taking a spin on their flag knowledge and showing their appreciation.
It represents just people coming together and Canadians celebrating our heritage and history shared across all the provinces.
But most of all, I'm just grateful to live in such a beautiful country.
For Jansman, she says her pride is as big as her flag, but now she has to decide where to put it.
A few suggestions, but nothing's been decided yet. It's now become a family heirloom, if you will.
The Canadian flag on the Peace Tower is replaced with a new flag every weekday, excluding holidays. Public Services and Procurement Canada says when scaffolding is installed to cover the Peace Tower for renovation work, the Peace Tower flag will remain visible to all Canadians. Kim.
CTV's Josh Moreno reporting live for us tonight. Thank you very much, Josh. Well, thousands of people made their way onto the Rideau Canal Skateway this family day-long weekend, and the NCC says that hundreds of thousands of people have taken to the ice since the start of the season. CTV's Kimberly Johnson joins us live in studio. Now, Kimberly, I've been out on the canal a few times. Have you gotten out yourself?
Well, Kimberly, today I got a chance to try out the skateway and conditions were great. The canal was busy, but looking at the forecast this week, you may want to get out while you can.
Back in Ottawa from school for the family day-long weekend, Hannah Anderson knew she had to come out and enjoy the Rideau Canal Skateway with her family.
I just love how open it is and accessible it is to everybody, and you can just skate on it to get to work or for fun, and yeah, it's just really free for anyone to use.
It's something she tries to do every year, but this year is special, hitting the world's largest skating rink with her cousin, visiting from out of town.
Parliament, come back, maybe grab some beaver tails at the end, but not too long, but enough to see everything.
The National Capital Commission says as of Friday, there have been more than 570,000 visitors on the canal since it opened for the season on December 31st.
Where are we going now? Get some beaver tails. It's beautiful. It's warm. Even though it looks cold, the sun is really warm. So it feels great.
And it's easy to say that throughout the weekend, many more people have joined in. The whole 7.8-kilometer stretch is open for business.
It's been gorgeous. It's been a great weekend.
This season had the earliest opening date since 2018.
We have family that live down here, so we come down for Family Day weekend, and we always like to just get on the ice and go for a skate, and it's been a great weekend for it.
Last year, there were more than 1.1 million visitors on the skateway for its 52 days in operation. This week, temperatures are set to creep above zero. That could mean days are running out this season. Little 2-year-old Alina's family hopes there's still 1 or 2 more chances to get in a glide after a cold season.
Just enjoying the sunshine. Finally getting some sun, so.
And while the canal season has had some very cold stretches, the skateway was closed for a time this year. An 8-day stretch interrupted the season back in January. With the mild temperatures expected this week, the NCC reminds people to check its website for skating conditions before heading out. Kimberly?
CTV's Kimberly Johnson reporting live for us tonight. Thank you very much. And just a reminder that tomorrow, Monday, is Family Day, and there will be several closures and service reductions across Ottawa. The Winterlude snow bus will be running for free, operating between Winterlude sites here in Ottawa and in Gatineau. Most museums will be open on Monday. Rideau Centre and Tanger outlets will be open, but all other malls will be closed. Some grocery stores in the Glebe and the Byward Market area will be open. LCBO and beer store locations will be closed, and there will be no garbage or recycling collection on Monday. It will be delayed by a day next week. And you can scan the QR code on the bottom of your screen to link to us online or visit ctvnewsottawa.ca. We have more details on things to do in Ottawa on Family Day and what is opened and closed. All right, we'll take our first check on the weather right now. The sun shining bright at the Hogsback Falls today. This is a look near Mooney's Bay. Again, great day if you're out and about. -7 we're looking at right now. Mainly sunny conditions, but we do have some flurries in store for us for today and tomorrow. Here's a look at the overnight lows. -9 here for the Ottawa area. So see some flurries. Same conditions that we're seeing in Cornwall and in Brockville. -6 with overcast skies in Kingston and in Trenton. -9 for Bancroft. -10 for Pembroke. -14 up in Kittaghan-Zibi. Same thing for Maniwaki. -10 for Petawawa and Gatineau. -11 for Mont Tremblant. We're looking at -9 for both Kemptville and Montreal. Here's a look at tomorrow's high. 0 here for Ottawa. We've got 1 and 2 degrees along the Seaway. And over toward Gatineau, they're looking at 0 there, +1 in Montreal and in Kemptville. And again, zeros mainly across the board. Well, it took 9 days, but Canada has finally won its first gold medal at the Milano Cortina Olympic Games. Canadian skier Michael Kingsbury takes home the gold medal in men's dual moguls, the first ever gold in this event. Now, this is his second medal at this year's Games after narrowly missing a gold in a tiebreaker in traditional moguls. CTV's Rahim Ladani reports.
Tasting gold, skiing sensation Michael Kingsbury has a new medal around his neck, winning Canada's first gold medal at the Milan Cortina Olympics.
Well, last night I went to bed and I saw a lot of message on social media, you know, people say that the Canadian, we were cursed or we were not able to win a gold medal after 9 days, and I knew I had an opportunity to do it, and I grabbed it.
Seizing opportunities is what the 33-year-old from Deux-Montagnes, Quebec has done throughout his career, topping the field in the men's dual moguls. Kingsbury now has 5 Olympic medals, 2 gold and 3 silver. And Canadian fans who made the trip to Italy are still reeling from watching the most decorated freestyle skier in history.
So awesome. It was so cool to see. We came all the way from Toronto, so very excited to be here.
This is a dream come true. It was amazing. I was bawling my eyes out.
It was an emotional moment for all Canadians after Kingsbury settled for silver after losing a tiebreak in traditional moguls last week. After the race, the oldest athlete in the field confirming this was his final Olympic performance.
The last one is gold, first in history in mogul skiing. It's more than a dream come true.
It took 9 days at these Olympic Games for a Canadian athlete to win gold. That's the longest it has ever taken at the Winter Olympics in 58 years, bringing Canada's medal count to 9.
So we're probably a little bit tight to see Canada reach that 20 medal mark. They've reached at least 24 since at least 2006, so that would be a dip at a Winter Games.
On top of the podium, Kingsbury raised his fist in triumph before placing his hand on his chest as the Canadian anthem played. A momentous moment Canadians watching say means so much to them.
You always love hearing "O Canada" sung by the crowd. It warms your heart.
Especially these days. So that was awesome.
National pride that will carry on well beyond the Olympics. Raheem Ladani, CTV News.
And on the ice, Canada's men's hockey team completed the preliminary round with a perfect 3-0 record. Canada beat France 10-2 today in Italy to advance to the quarterfinals. Captain Sidney Crosby had a goal and 2 assists for Canada, becoming the all-time leader for points in men's hockey for Canada. The quarterfinals are set for Wednesday. Government House Leader Steve McKinnon says the Liberals are standing behind their stance to deliver the Budget Implementation Act as a 634-page omnibus piece of legislation.
This bill is a very, very comprehensive piece of economic legislation that will make life better for Canadians and that will yield results right from the get-go. So no, we have no regrets at all about all of the measures contained in that bill. We think they are all necessary, and we look forward to putting them into play.
The bill allows the government to enact legislative policies laid out in the budget, including changes to transport laws, the Judges Act, and the Criminal Code. Now, because it requires a confidence vote, its failure would topple the government. Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc is leading a large delegation to Mexico as the federal government looks to diversify this country's trade links. Now, this comes amid U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs and threats to abandon the trade pact between the 3 countries. LeBlanc will be in Mexico with hundreds of delegates representing Canadian businesses from across the country. And a Canadian delegation attended the Munich Security Conference this weekend. Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand says Canada must continue to work closely with allies.
We need to all acknowledge the changing global threat environment and the importance of supporting each other.
At the conference, Canada signed a deal with Denmark to work more closely on Arctic security and defense in the face of repeated threats from U.S. President Donald Trump. Well, as the investigation continues into the mass shooting in Tumbler Ridge, BC, the police tape surrounding the school has been taken down. Now, the roads leading up to it are reportedly still barricaded and guarded by private security.
Away from, going up, just trying to take photos for no reason whatsoever. So the RCMP will have to answer that question.
5 students and an educator were killed and dozens more injured at the school last week, which remains closed to the public. Now, tape has also come down at the home where the suspect's mother and sibling were killed. Autopsies on the bodies are expected to be finished this weekend, including for the shooter. Ottawa police are investigating a home invasion and carjacking in Ottawa's West End. Police say 4 armed men forced their way into a rooming house, falsely identified themselves as police, and confronted multiple people. Following the incident, police say a carjacking occurred at a separate location. Police did not say where the home invasion and carjacking occurred, but anyone with information is asked to contact police. OC Transpo expects to have another train available for service on Line 1 this week, but commuters will still see single-car trains running on the east-west line. The transit service reduced the number of cars running on Line 1 after a spalling issue was discovered on the axles last month. Transit Services General Manager Troy Trotter says 21 cars will be available for service this week, but 26 cars are required for regular double-car service. The O train is running every 3 to 4 minutes during peak periods. And OC Transpo will soon be extending their afternoon transfer window. Councillors had complained that construction bus delays and cancellations meant people were having to pay twice to get home. Starting on March 2nd, the afternoon transfer period will be extended to 105 minutes beginning at 3 p.m. It's currently 90 minutes between 3 and 6 p.m. All right, over at the National Arts Centre this weekend, the Big Bang Festival is drawing in thousands of visitors with fun for the whole family, as well as showcasing some resounding performances and great vibes. CTV's Camille Wilson checked it out for us. Camille, how was it?
Kimberly, talk about energy. It was high in all of the rooms today. A big dance party is what it was at the NAC this weekend, with all different genres of music, you name it. Families gathered to take in art, culture, and all music. Brass Tracks sweeping the crowd away with their jazzy performance. And Simone St. Pierre can't help but keep it moving.
It's very important because I know art is lien social. It brings people together. It makes the world a better place to be.
The Big Bang Festival taking center stage at the National Arts Centre this weekend, celebrating music, dance, culture, and art. St. Pierre is a regular at the performances and believes it's important to pass on the love of music.
I really want my grandchildren to know music and arts in general, so I come often to artistic performances, and I wanted to enjoy it.
With rooms filled with all genres from jazz, house, Afrobeats, and many more for everyone from ages 3 to 93. Alana Brown, a full-time musician, not only came to support friends performing, but to pass on the music tradition.
We thought it would be really fun to bring our 3 boys out to support the music and to have a fun concert. We're just looking forward to hearing this band and hopefully having some dance parties.
With Superhost ambassadors from ages 10 to 14 running the show.
It's a good time for the whole family. See some great performers, great artists, do what they do best here for close to free, and if not, just a little cheap fee, just for some fun, you know, for this family day weekend.
Bringing together artists, sound installations, and musical performances with instruments and drawings.
It's what involved our evolution, and without music, well, all of this wouldn't happen.
We love music. We were pretty pumped to come out here today.
Keeping the thousands of visitors engaged with turning the entire NAC into a musical playground, filling every open space with something for everyone.
I'm having a lot of fun. I really like that kind of bluesy jazz festival. Not festival, but music. Jazz is my favorite music. After classical, maybe. They're about the same.
Music, we all know, is universal, bringing everyone together while taking people on a colorful journey. Many of the performances were free, some with a low cost, but those I spoke to said it's something special and meaningful for people to be able to have access to professional musicians or artistic performances for low or very low cost. Kimberly.
Yes, music does bring everyone together.
Absolutely.
CTV's Camille Wilson reporting live for us. Thank you very much, Camille.
And probably another $1,000 versus what they were going to pay in Cuba.
Coming up, Cuba's energy availability crisis has Canadians changing their travel itineraries heading into the busy spring break travel season. And here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. We're sitting at -8 degrees here in Ottawa. February is Heart Month, and supporters of the University of Ottawa Heart Institute are helping light the capital red. Tonight, through AI-powered supply chain software, Kinaxis helps ensure life-saving medical supplies reach patients worldwide. The company says it's proud to support the Ottawa Heart Institute's critical work right here in the community. And this coming into our newsroom right now, Centre Vorlage will begin gradually reopening on Monday after a 13-year-old girl from Ottawa was critically injured in a ski lift incident last week. The ski hill near Wakefield, Quebec says the Hub restaurant will open on Monday and the ski hill will reopen on Tuesday. The injured girl was on a class trip last Wednesday when her clothes became tangled in the chairlift at the summit. When she was eventually rescued, she was not breathing and transported to CHEO. Well, the calendar may still say winter, but it certainly felt like spring this week here in Ottawa. Here's a look at the sun shining down on Hogsback Falls in Ottawa this afternoon. It was a perfect day with great weather for a hike or to check out Winterlude activities. Now, the forecast is calling for temperatures to warm up above seasonal all this week. And we'll take a look now through our satellite radar. Again, we do have some overcast skies with some possible flurries for the rest of today and into Monday. And we could see some more toward the end of the week. We'll take a look at what's happening across the country right now. -2 in St. John's, -5. We're looking at some flurries there in the Charlottetown area. -1 for Fredericton, -10 in Quebec City, -8 here in Ottawa right now, -1 in Toronto, +5 in the Windsor area. Toward the prairies, we're looking at 4 degrees in Regina, -1 in Saskatoon, +1 in Edmonton, 6 degrees with some overcast skies in Calgary. Same thing for the Vancouver area. In the Ottawa area, again, we're sitting at around -8, -9 right now with the temperature at the moment, but again, overnight we're looking at -9 for some flurries as well. Tomorrow we have a cloud cover sitting at 0. Again, things are warming up here. Same thing for the Ottawa Valley, -10 in the overnight hours, 0 with some cloudy periods for tomorrow. And we're looking at the Seaway. We've got -9 for the overnight hours. Again, chances of snow, we're heading up to a high of 0 for your Monday. So if you're out and about for Family Day, that's what you have in store. Here's a quick look at what's happening for the next 7 days ahead. Monday and Tuesday, some overcast skies, 0 on Monday, +5 on Tuesday, and we could see some more flurries come our way on Wednesday. Now, while Cuba goes through an energy crisis with rolling blackouts and limited fuel, its robust tourism sector continues to crumble, with Canadian tourists now unable to travel there due to fuel shortages. And as CTV's Kamal Karmali reports, Canadians now scrambling to make travel plans and paying the price for it too.
While all major airlines have now suspended flights to Cuba, families who had booked vacations there are scrambling to find new plans, but those aren't coming cheap.
We're going into March break. The demand for other properties was very high. You're looking probably another, $1,000 versus what they were going to pay in Cuba.
Not only are vacation packages to other destinations now costing thousands of dollars more, some places like resorts in Mexico are also becoming overbooked because of the flow of travelers pivoting from Cuba to other holiday destinations. But Canadians' problems minute compared to the energy crisis Cubans are facing. The Caribbean island is facing a fuel shortage that has worsened dramatically this week, with not enough to provide jet fuel at major airports. The lack of fuel has also triggered widespread power cuts affecting water and food services. 2 Mexican ships carrying humanitarian aid have now arrived in Havana. Cuba has blamed the crisis on the U.S.-imposed oil blockade against Venezuela, which supplies Cuba with crude oil. There are now reports Russia may send crude oil shipments to Cuba soon. While all major airlines are now working to bring Canadian travelers in Cuba home, Air Transat now tells CTV News it's working on bringing the last of its travelers home for Tuesday. Kamal Karmali, CTV News, Toronto.
China is dropping its visa requirements for Canadian tourists and business visitors. The move comes less than a month after Prime Minister Mark Carney traveled to Beijing. China's foreign ministry says Canadians will no longer be required to get visas for 30-day stays starting Tuesday until at least the end of the year. For most Canadian tourists entering mainland China, currently required an application process and a $140 fee.
He was on the list of recipients in need, and they needed a match.
After the break, a butcher from Brantford is carving out an act of kindness, paying it forward to someone he's never met.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Here's a live look at the Queensway. Traffic moving quite well east and westbound across Ottawa right now. Not hearing of any major collisions or slowdowns stopping you. But again, it looks like you'll make great time. Again, Queensway looking good both directions right now. Well, Saturday was one of the busiest days of the year for restaurants. And while Valentine's Day can be a boon for businesses in the winter months, new data shows nearly half of restaurants in Canada are struggling. And as CTV's Anastasia Dextrine tells us, that could mean more closures.
For nearly 10 years, Provisions Bar-à-Vin has been a mainstay in Outremont. But co-owner Guillaume Noël says business has been up and down.
It has become harder and harder to find a model that works financially for restaurants.
The space runs as a butcher shop and cafe by day and as a wine bar and steakhouse by night. But each year, Noël says the profit margins are getting smaller.
We see that people have maybe a little bit less money in their budget to go and spend to go out, and also they drink less. So the sales mix on our side has become more food, which costs more money in goods, costs more money in labor.
Provisions Bar-à-Vin isn't alone. According to a report by Restaurants Canada, eateries across the country have been struggling to make a profit since 2019.
Before the pandemic, 12% of restaurants were operating at a loss or breaking even, and now that number is up to 44%.
Spokesperson Milana Stonoiva says in some cases, profit margins have dropped to as little as 3%. While Noël's restaurant is profitable, and it's one of 4 that he co-owns, he says roughly 40% of their revenue is spent on food and 35% on labor, leaving just 25% to cover the rent and pocket whatever is left. That's why Stonoiva says restaurants may have to pivot to stay open in the years to come.
They might be recalibrating their menus, cutting out some of the less popular dishes or dishes that aren't as cost effective. They might be looking at where they can get supplies for a lower cost. They might also be cutting certain operating hours.
A changing menu for both owners and customers. Anastasia Dextrine, CTV News.
When Statistics Canada reports January inflation figures later this week, economists are expecting tax changes from last year to result in a year-over-year surge in food prices. Now, StatsCan will publish its January Consumer Price Index report on Tuesday. Rising costs for grocery staples like coffee and beef are driving a movement in food inflation, according to Desjardins' deputy chief economist. Now, in 2025, the Liberal government also waived the federal portion of the sales tax on dining out and some grocery items, which will likely affect year-over-year inflation as well. Well, a butcher in Brantford is carving out community kindness by paying it forward and changing the life of someone he's never met. He's donating his liver anonymously to help a stranger in need. CTV's Karis Map has more.
When Zach Baker isn't mastering his craft, he can be found cracking a joke or chatting with his regular customers.
I've been at the Cambridge Farmers Market now since 2010, on and off, and there's been people that I've been serving every week since then.
Even fellow vendors feel the impact of his positivity.
I think it was the first week, maybe the second week, he jumped into my spices and instantly took my Greek spice and put it into his pre-made pork chops.
Now carving out kindness in his community, the butcher of over 15 years decided in December to donate a part of his liver to someone close to him.
A friend of mine who he's been sick for decades. The need was there, and the ask went out because he was on the list of recipients in need, and they needed a match.
Medical history and paperwork testing confirmed what everyone involved had hoped.
I kind of emerged as the #1 choice, at least on paper, which then led itself to booking some physical testing.
Following extensive blood work and scans, everything was set for a March 2nd donation date. But before the surgery could happen, his friend passed away.
His family knew that I was going through the testing, and we were able to spend some time together and share that information. Told him to mark, March 2nd on the calendar type deal, because that's what we were working towards.
With all the screening and tests completed, as well as a surgery date already booked, Zach chose to continue with the process, opting for an anonymous donation instead.
I've heard the stat thrown around that about 25% of people on the recipient list pass away before there's ever a match.
And officials say the need is greater than ever.
There are currently hundreds of Canadians awaiting liver transplantation. And unfortunately, the supply of organs is simply not there to meet the demand as it stands now. And that demand and number is actually expected to increase over the years as the prevalence of liver disease rises.
Now, the same people Baker has given to over the years are stepping up to return the favor.
I am donating 50% of all of my proceeds from every single Greek blend that is sold between now and when he returns to the market.
A customer-led GoFundMe was also set up to help his family during the lengthy recovery period. With the countdown continuing, Baker says he's excited for the impact he'll have on someone's life.
I've been asked a lot, like, oh, are you nervous? Or like, you starting to get scared? And I haven't been. Really glad that I'm going to be able to help somebody.
Kara Smapp, CTV News, Cambridge.
A group of 4 astronauts have arrived at the International Space Station on an 8-month science mission after several of their colleagues were forced to leave early last month.
First through the hatch is ESA astronaut Sophie Adeno on her first trip to space.
U.S., Russian, and French astronauts arrived in a SpaceX rocket after launching from Florida on Friday for the around 34-hour trip. For 2 of them, it's their first time in space. Dubbed Crew 12, this marks the 12th long-duration mission NASA has flown onboard billionaire Elon Musk's SpaceX launch vehicle. They're replacing a NASA crew who were forced to return to Earth early last month because of an unspecified medical issue. Well, dancers and musicians took to the streets in Bolivia's second largest city for an annual Indigenous carnival marking the agricultural cycle and the arrival of the rainy season. Indigenous groups paraded performing dances linked to rainfall and the first harvest. It's part of the broader carnival tradition honoring Mother Earth, expressing gratitude for the beginning of the festival season.
It says return to sender for weight and dimensions.
Well, still to come, we revisit the story of a special delivery for Valentine's Day that was returned to sender in a dispute over 13 cents. Well, in case you missed it this week, a young Navin family tried to send homemade Valentine cards to veterans, but they weren't delivered. The family said even after having the package of letters weighed and measured at the local post office, the package was returned with a note saying postage was short 13 cents. CTV's Peter Sperling has more.
Some Valentine's.
Some Valentines?
It's a way to share some love with veterans on Valentine's Day.
We found out about this program through Canada Remembers, and it's just a way to commemorate veterans.
Canadians like Ellen and Stephen Edwards and their young children can create homemade Valentine's cards.
Maybe put a smile on their face.
They're shipped to Veterans Affairs Canada and Prince Edward Island, then given to vets. But their cards never made it.
It says return to sender for weight and dimensions.
Just getting sent back over 13 cents was difficult to see.
The family says they did everything right, shipping through their local post office, confirming they had correct postage.
So initially I had one on, and then I had a roll of stamps with me, and she said, no, you have to add on a second one. And then she measured it, weighed it, and she said, yeah, you're all good to go.
Canada Post is apologizing, writing in a statement to CTV News, it was an unfortunate human error at a sorting and processing facility.
I would have paid $5, $10 to send it to veterans.
It's very disheartening. You know, you put in some time and with your children to send a nice gesture, and then it just gets sent back over 13 cents, and it's clearly labeled that it was Valentine's for veterans. So it's just, it stings.
But the family not giving up. They're planning on hand delivering the cards directly to veterans at Pearly Health tomorrow.
We're going to make the most of it, and we're just trying to set a good example for, our children, to honor those who have served for us.
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
Well, a group of hockey players took to the ice in Nova Scotia this weekend for a special game celebrating a piece of hockey history. The event paid tribute to an all-black hockey league in the Maritimes that started in the late 1800s. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth has more.
More than just a game and a celebration of Black History Month, this is also a sports journey back in time. Keep it going, let's go! To honor the Colored Hockey League of the Maritimes that existed from the late 1800s until the 1930s. Founded by Halifax church leaders, the league featured teams in 7 cities and towns, including the historic Black community, Africville.
The Colored Hockey League of the Maritimes deserves a place in hockey history, not only in the province, but in the country and internationally as well. And tonight is one of those steps.
This is a throwback game, reviving long-lost teams, the Halifax Eurekas and Hammonds Plains Mossbacks, with a big assist from local African Nova Scotian players.
Seeing all these people, getting on the ice with them, getting to play with them or against them, it's great.
To preserve its memory and its legacy, Parks Canada has designated this league as an event of national historic significance.
It's important for the next generation coming up. It's good to know where you come from and the rich history within this game.
5 years ago, Canada Post unveiled this commemorative stamp, and Hockey Nova Scotia has also launched educational initiatives supporting diversity and inclusion within hockey. All part of the effort to make sure the history of the Colored Hockey League of the Maritimes isn't lost to the past. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia.
23.5, and it's a pike. You're in second place.
Coming up, cracking the ice and fishing for a good cause along the Ottawa River.
Far side pass, and it's an early shot. He scores!
February is Heart Month, and supporters of the University of Ottawa Heart Institute are helping light the capital red. Amble Salon on Richmond Road is supporting the Heart Institute because healthy hearts matter just as much as feeling good. And Aurelius Fine Oils and Balsamic Vinegars on Wellington West says they're supporting the Heart Institute because, as a local Ottawa business, it's committed to offering higher quality, authentic olive oils that provide real heart benefits and help our community care for their hearts. Well, volunteers do not win medals, but they are the true ambassadors of the Olympic spirit. And thousands of volunteers are currently working at the Milan Cortina Winter Games, bringing a unique energy to the event. CTV's Heather Butts caught up with a Canadian who traveled from Montreal to live out her Olympic dream in a different way.
Anywhere you look during these games, you'll spot this colorful uniform. Part of a small army, 18,000 volunteers spread across venues in northern Italy. This group keeps the Olympics running smoothly around the clock.
It was an experience that I couldn't miss out of.
Most of them proud Italians, like Giulia Rostelli.
It's really more powerful if we put a lot of countries together and all the stories together. It becomes something unique. It's something that I'm giving, but I'm also getting a lot more back. So it's an exchange that I would suggest to anyone to experience in their own life.
Volunteers are behind every Olympic medal ceremony, competition, and spectator experience.
I think they are essential. They are really at the very heart of the games. And what brings the most is basically the enthusiasm.
A tradition volunteers have been part of the game since 1948. A diverse group, they are often the first and last people athletes and fans encounter.
Good night, everyone. Thank you, grazie. Good night, Americans. Good night, Canadians.
They're not just from the host country. Roughly 2,000 have come from abroad. That includes Claire Provost, a Montrealer who once dreamed of being an Olympic ski racer.
It is a different experience for sure, of being an athlete and like being a volunteer. But it is still a dream come true for me to come to the Olympics and participate to it and help out.
We caught up with Provost and her fellow volunteer from the U.S. between shifts at the hockey arena.
Before we got here, we got like a Zoom call, and they said, yeah, you're going to be shots on goal. I was like, what? Okay, sure. fun.
Part of the vast workforce who answered the call, willing to give time and energy. Now they belong to a community that goes beyond sport.
How many people can say that they have friends that they met at the Olympics? Like, it's really cool.
As the competition rolls on, the spotlight will stay focused on medal counts and memorable performances. But it's the dedication of volunteers that will help ensure the Olympic spirit remains part of this legacy long after the Games. Heather Butts, CTV News, Milan, Italy.
Well, in tonight's big picture, a New Jersey man doesn't have to go far for ice in his ice cream truck. Robert Schott built an ice cream truck entirely made of snow on his front lawn. Schott created the Good Humor Truck snow sculpture following a recent storm. And yes, he's selling ice cream from the truck, with all of the proceeds going to a Children's Hospital Foundation in New Jersey. And now to some other stories you need to know right now, starting with a small protest on the Rideau Canal Skateway. Indivisible Ottawa held a rally called Ice is for Skating, Not Kidnapping. It included a life-size Trump puppet skating on the Rideau Canal and a giant banner placed on an overpass. The group was protesting U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers in the U.S., better known as ICE. But it has been an expensive holiday weekend, that is, on Ottawa roads for drivers caught without insurance. Ontario Provincial Police say officers charged 11 drivers for operating a vehicle without insurance on Ottawa highways on Friday. Officers use an automated license plate recognition camera to scan license plates. Now, the fine for driving without insurance is $5,000. Police also charged 3 drivers for being a suspended driver. The Ottawa Police Service continues to see a rise in reported shoplifting complaints. A report for the Ottawa Police Services Board says shoplifting reports increased 37% in the final 3 months of 2025 compared to the same period in 2024. Shoplifting reports accounted for 42% of the 7,600 online reports submitted to police in the October to December period. Traffic complaints increased 60% compared to the same period last year.
Like Jeremiah, but I get to the end zone.
Atletico Ottawa departed TD Place today ahead of their first CONCACAF Champions Cup game. Now, Atletico faces Nashville SC in the first round, with Game 1 Tuesday in Hamilton. Now, the game was moved out of the capital because of construction at TD Place. This will be Atletico's CONCACAF debut.
23.5, and it's a pike. You're in second place.
And it was perfect weather today for ice fishing on the Ottawa River. The 9th annual Harvest Fishing Derby was held at the Nepean Sailing Club. The fishing derby includes a pancake breakfast, demonstration, and prizes. The event raises money for 2 local charities, the Ottawa Riverkeeper and the Ottawa Community Housing Foundation. Wow, this is so cool. Just ahead, lighting up the world's largest skating rink while also crossing the top spot off your bucket list. We'll explain more when we come back. But here's a live look at our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. We're sitting at -8 degrees here in Ottawa.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Here's a recap of the top local stories we're following right now. A 13-year-old girl from Ottawa has died after an incident on a ski lift at Centre Volage last week. The girl was on a class trip last Wednesday when her clothes became tangled in the chairlift at the summit of the ski hill near Wakefield, Quebec. In a statement, the family says it's devastated to share that the girl has passed away today at CHEO. Lowell Green, the longtime talk show host on News Talk 580 CFRA, has passed away. Green's family said he died suddenly on Saturday at the age of 89. Mayor Mark Sutcliffe called Green a groundbreaking talk show host and a proud Canadian.
As a proud Canadian, it is my privilege and honor to provide you with the enclosed Canadian flag.
Well, it's a special Flag Day for a Prescott woman who finally received her requested Canadian flag from the Peace Tower. February 15th, it's Flag Day, celebrating the first time the red and white maple leaf flag was flown on Parliament Hill. And now we'll have a final check of your wake-up weather as well as your 7-day forecast. -8 overcast skies we're waking up to on your Family Day holiday Monday here in Ottawa. And for a look at the week ahead, we've got overcast skies on Monday and on Tuesday, but warming up a little bit on Tuesday. We're looking at a high of 5 and a low of 0. Then on Wednesday, we do have some cloud cover and a chance of some snow, +1 we're looking at. So it could be that rain-snow mix that we have. -7 will be the low. Then on Thursday, a mix of sun and cloud at 1 degree as well. 0 on Friday, -1 on Saturday, but it looks like we could have some flurries to round out the end of the week and start us off for next weekend. All right, finally for us tonight, a TikTok star known for his rollerblading and skating videos has crossed another skate off his bucket list. Alexi Marita, posted a video on social media this weekend skating along the Rideau Canal Skateway. How cool is this? He says, finally made it to my #1 winter bucket list item, the Rideau Canal in Ottawa. And I've seen a bunch of his videos. I think he's from Toronto, but he's traveled all across the world posting really awesome skate videos like this. And really cool to see that here happening in Ottawa. All right, well, that's CTV News for this Sunday, February the 15th. I'll be back later at 11:30 to wrap up today's news. Until then, have a good night.